यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यामुनतिरावनचारी यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यामुनतिरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे अगरबत्ती सब लिखा है। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। चारों को सुना दे, चारों को। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया Bhagavatiruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishna, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 9, the Supreme Character of Jadabharata, Shloka number 13. Tasyaha daiva muktasya pashaho padavim tad anucharaha paridhavanto nishi nishitha samaye tamasa vrthayam anadigata pasava akasmikena vidina kedaran virasanena mriga varahadibhyaha samrakshamanam Angira Pravara Sutam Apashyan. Word to word meaning Tasya, of the leader of the dacoits. Ha, certainly. Daiva Muktasya, by chance having escaped. Pashaho, of human animal. Padavim, the path. Tad Anucharaha, his followers or assistants. Paridhavantaha, searching here and there to find. Nishi, at night. Nishita Samaye, at midnight. Tamasa Avritayam, being covered by darkness. Anadigata Pashavaha, not catching the man animal. Akasmikena Vidina, by the unexpected law of providence. Kedaran, the fields. Vira Asanena, by a seat on a raised place. Mrigavaraha Adibhyaha, from the deer, wild pigs, and so on. Samrakshamanam, protecting. Angiraha Pravarasutam, the son of the Brahmana descending from Angira family. Apashyan, they found. Translation. Okay, purport is not there. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The leader of the dacoits captured a man animal for sacrifice, but he escaped, and the leader ordered his followers to find him. They ran in different directions but could not find him. Wandering here and there in the middle of the night, covered by dense darkness, they came to a paddy field where they saw the exalted son of the Angira family, Jadabharata, who was sitting in an elevated place guarding the field against the attacks of deer and wild pigs. Text 14. Atha the enam anavadhya lakshanam avamrishya bhartar kama nishpattim manyamana badva rashanaya chandika griham upaninyur muda vikasita vadanaha. Vikasita generally is used for the flower blossoms like that. So translation: the followers and servants of the dacoit chief considered Jadabharata to possess qualities quite suitable for a man animal, and they decided that he was a perfect choice for sacrifice. Their faces bright with happiness. They would have used for this. Bright with happiness. They bound him with ropes and brought him to the temple of goddess Kali. Purport. In some parts of India, animalistic men are still sacrificed before goddess Kali. However, such a sacrifice is only performed by Shudras and dacoits. Their business is to plunder the wealthy, and to become successful, they offer an animalistic man before goddess Kali. It should be noted that they never sacrificed an intelligent man before the goddess. In the body of a Brahmana, Bharat Maharaj appeared deaf and dumb, yet he was the most intelligent man in the world. Nonetheless, being completely surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he remained in that condition and did not protest being brought before the deity for slaughter. As we have learnt from the previous verses, he was very strong and could have very easily avoided being bound with ropes, but he did not do anything. He simply depended on the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his protection. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes surrender unto Supreme Lord in this way. Maribe Rakibe yo ichha tomar Nitya dasa pratitva adhikar. My Lord, I am now surrendered unto you. I am your eternal servant, and if you like, you can kill me, or if you like, you can protect me. In any case, I am fully surrendered unto you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrishe Namaha Panchatattva Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this shlokas 13 and 14. So it describes how Bharat Maharaj, in the form of in the body of a Brahmana, Jada Bharata. So he was, as in the previous slokas we have seen, that he was engaged in guarding the fields by his step brothers, and so he was engaged in that particular way, and now he is he's been captured by the dacoits. So the dacoits, they had obtained a man animal, so to be sacrificed. He's a dull man, so he's to be sacrificed, and for gaining some kind of powers and things like that. So but then that person had run away, and now so they were in search of that person, so instead they got a better person. So they thought that they got a better person, so he's more dull and things like that. So and they captured him, and they uh, took him in front of, they became very very happy after capturing, and they took him in front of the goddess Kali to be sacrificed. So and so here in the purported, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, in some parts of India, animalistic men are still sacrificed before goddess Kali. However, such a sacrifice is only performed by Shudras and dacoits. So their business is to plunder the wealthy, and to become successful, they offer an animalistic man before the goddess Kali. So it should be noted. Okay, so like here we see that, so this different kinds of worships that are there. So this is a ghastly form of worship, and so where different animals are sacrificed, or sometimes a man who's in the level of animal, so he is also sacrificed. And by such sacrifices, they please goddess Kali, and they get powers. They actually get various kinds of power. So here it is mentioned about, so dacoits, like for the successful execution of their dacoity, so they are doing this business. They are doing this sacrifice to goddess Kali, and we have seen in many other this ones, like people engage in trying to what is that gain control over the subtle body, and then they practice some black arts and things like that. So even for that, like people would offer such sacrifices, and they would get various powers. This is also one kind of an art that is there. So but then it is very ghastly, and any mistake that is performed, it actually boomerangs on them. So it is quite very serious and very dangerous business actually. So now we have one instance of like Kashiraj, who sends some kind of a force, on to destroy, to attack Krishna and the Dwaraka and things like that. So, but then because of because like Krishna can never be destroyed and Dwaraka cannot be disturbed. So then that force was sent back, and it got like it destroyed the kingdom of Kashi, So like this we see in Krishna book. So we see that these things have boomeranging effect. So if the if the power that they actually use to like what is that used to employ, so if it fails, it will come back and it will destroy the person only, like who has actually created that power or who has actually engaged that power. So in that way, like it is quite it is not a very nice way of worship. So in Krishna consciousness, the worst case scenario is that at least we'll become purified a little bit, and the next life we will continue. So swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So but here is like slight mistake, you are finished. So it is very dangerous kind of this one, and that's we will see in this pastime also. So they got a wrong person to be sacrificed, and instead they sacrificing that person, so they themselves got sacrificed. So it is very dangerous business. So like we should not get any inspiration to do this business. So like we have devotional service is very nice. So because even if it is performed in a inattentive way, so it doesn't have any no serious effect like this kind of effects. So inattentive devotional service, what it can give. Somebody can become Indra by inattentive devotional service, or become rich man or something like that. So, but here inattentive, this kind of practices, like black arts and things like that. So, they will only become destroyed. So it is quite dangerous actually. And the way of worship is like very ghastly, and then the result is also like the result of it here in this case would be they would have got a very successful plundering of some wealthy person, and that is going to create bad karma, and they are going to suffer. So, and then if they do the procedure wrongly, so then that is going to boomerang back on them. So in every way, this is actually a very painful and not at all a happy, not at all a very nice profession, nice way of actually offering sacrifices and offering sacrifices. So it is seen that in the Vedic times, that even the irreligious people or even the people who are doing sinful activities, so they had this knowledge. So knowledge is that, like if I have to get something, I have to sacrifice something. I have to do some kind of a sacrifice and please a higher deity, and then I will get some powers to do something. So this is the basic funda of all activities in the material world. So one must perform some sacrifice and please a higher deity, and then he will get something in return. So like in the Vedic, in the normal, what is that, in the legal way, so they would perform sacrifice and they would please the demigods and get some benefits for themselves. And in the highest platform. So, like they would perform sacrifice, in order to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and for the purpose of like being engaged in the service of the Lord, and be constantly remembering the Lord and things like that. So in this way, like the goal may be different, and then the purpose may be different, but then the procedure is the same, that we need to perform some sacrifice to please a higher deity, and then we will get something in return. So this procedure is like we can see everywhere. So but when it becomes too materialistic, so then people actually give up this concept of sacrifice and directly plunder. So that is like very very worst. Here at least there is some level of this one following of some authority is there. So that is like they are going to please goddess Kali. So then it is mentioned, it should be noted that they never sacrificed an intelligent man before the goddess. So this is also another very important this one. So intelligent persons are given respect, and they are not no harmed unnecessarily. So intelligent means like those who are awakened to Krishna consciousness, those who are awakened to self-realization. So they are called as intelligent, right? So yesterday we had an argument with somebody like for a long time. So like how development is happening now and things like that. So like we are not able to see, or common people are not able to see how the degradation has happened in the level of consciousness, and development is happening like outside. So somebody was telling Intel inside and mental outside. So something like that. So like the externals are becoming very like the people are able to make external advancement, but internally actually degradation is actually happening. So this intelligence now also, like we see that whenever we were talking about intelligent person, so the other person was thinking that intelligent person means who has got degree, who has got some job and things like that. So that is intelligent person. Or still more intelligent person means like maybe he's doing some business and things like that. So but like there is so much of difference in the like the parameters with which we are talking, and the talk could not get to a very conclusive this one. So here when we see this intelligent person means a person who understands what's the purpose of life, and a person who understands that the difference between spirit and matter, and he is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness. Such a person is called intelligent man, and such people were always considered to be very valuable assets in the society, and they would not be sacrificed in this way. And this intelligence is awakened by gradual awakening is there. So like for example, in the case of a Vaishya or a Kshatriya, they may not be like so much dedicated as a Brahmana. So but then they are little bit awakened. They are following the Vedic rules and regulations, and their ultimate purpose is to attain the Lord, and they are progressing towards that direction, and they also have some kind of understanding of Krishna consciousness. So like this one like we were reading recently in Krishna book, that when like Garga Muni, so when he goes to Nanda Maharaj, so like the way of reception was very nice. Like we are constantly forgetting the Krishna consciousness, and we are not because we are engaged in a lot of household activities and things like that. And Brahmanas like you, like you come to enlighten us in Krishna consciousness. So this was very clear, and this we see that in many, many other places also. Like in general, the Vedic personalities, though they are engaged in like day-to-day activities, they are very clear that ultimate goal of life is to attain the Supreme Lord, and they would respect the Brahmanas for that reason. Otherwise, the Brahmana is not going to benefit anyway in the business. The Brahmana is not going to make get him any economic development and things like that. So, and for that purpose they would approach Jyotish. So like in every village there would be Jyotish. They would consult the Jyotish to find like when to put the like crops, and when to harvest. So, and these kind of things, or which business to do, what things to do and things like that. So they would approach Jyotish or Vipra, a Brahmana who was doing that kind of a job, like that kind of a expertise in that kind of this one. So, but when a Brahmana of a very good caliber, when they would come, so the people would not ask these silly questions of whether my business will work, or it'll what will happen and things like that. So they would not ask these kind of questions. They would always ask questions about self realization. So they were very clear that this is the ultimate wealth that I need to attain. And then for right now my consciousness is so low that I have to be engaged in various activities. But then whenever there is an opportunity, so they would always make spiritual inquiries. Whenever they would meet with some spiritual personalities, they would always make spiritual inquiries. So this is something that is there. So this they would not sacrifice any intelligent man, and they were having a clear understanding of who is an intelligent man, right? So they would not harm the brahmanas and no other higher caste peoples. So caste, no, I didn't want to use the word caste, the higher Varana peoples. So in the body of a Brahmana, Bharat Maharaj appeared deaf and dumb, yet he was the most intelligent man in the world, right? So how this can be, justified, the statement can be justified. So he is looking like deaf and dumb. He has never written any exam, or he has never shown his brightness in memorizing and vomiting. So but then still he is considered to be the most intelligent person. So because he is completely in understanding that the difference between body and soul, and then he is also he's also performing the duty of the soul, that is man mana bhavamat bhakta. He is always constantly remembering the Lord. So that is the highest form of intelligence, right? So that's why he's considered to be the who is most intelligent man in the world. And also, like, we see that Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. So Mahatma, or a great intelligent person, so he is always taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. And then where else the Mahatma comes? So like Vasudeva Sarvamati, right? So like one who is able to see everything in connection with the Supreme Lord. Such a person is also like very, very great personality, very great intelligent man. So and then we can. This is the intelligence. This is a sign of intelligence is a person, and also like in our Gita course also we put forward two other statements of intelligence, or knowledgeable person. So matravat paradareshu, lostravat paradraveshu, atma sarvabhuteshu ya pashyati sapandita. So like a person who is able to see other women other than one's wife as mother, and then Losavat Paradraveshu, seeing others' property as a garbage, and like putting himself in the shoes of others, and feeling the pain of others, So like that kind of a person is considered to be an intelligent man. And then also we see that sense control. So like the first sloka of Nectar of Instruction, so we used to discuss that a person who is able to control his senses, so he is also considered to be an intelligent man. So, and we know from Bhagavad Gita that control of senses is possible. So only by having higher consciousness, param dursha nivartate. So otherwise, if a person doesn't have a higher consciousness, or he is not absorbed in Krishna consciousness, so then it is very, very difficult to control the senses. So by one's own capacity, he will have some limitations in terms of controlling the senses, some threshold to which he can control the senses. So beyond that, we have seen great yogis and rishis, like in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, that they try to control the senses, but then they have a limit, they have a threshold. So beyond that, they cannot control their senses. So beyond that, like ultimate control of senses, a person can have only when he takes shelter of the Supreme Lord. So this very nicely demonstrated in the pastimes of Haridas Thakur. So where he was tested by the material nature, the Maya personified. So but then he could not be defeated. So because he was taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So like Ma meve prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. So that is the formula. So and Srila Prabhupada also, like in one of the lectures I was hearing, that if we take shelter of the Supreme Lord in the form of Shravanam and Kirtanam, so then it is possible that we will be able to overcome the influences of Maya. So, and if we don't take shelter of the Supreme Lord, so then we are limited to our own capacity. Whatever capacity we have, so we are limited to that. So, but then if we take shelter of the Lord, so then our capacity becomes the capacity of the Lord, and the Lord can, like the Lord is not touched by Maya. So, and we can also be not touched by Maya. So, that is the power of taking shelter of the Lord. And when we are able to do this thing, so one important aspect, that is necessary is that we also must be like always acknowledging the capacity or the power to say no to the Maya. Is actually coming from Krishna, and we should acknowledge that, and we should actually give credit to Krishna, and we should always maintain the mode of humility and express the gratitude towards the Lord. So when we do that thing, so our shelter will become complete, and we will be able to maintain the state of Krishna consciousness, or maintain not being touched by Maya. So the moment we think that we are able to do something, so immediately so Maya will capture. Right? So we need to understand the insignificance. So insignificance of our position, and we need to understand the greatest mercy that Krishna is actually showering upon us. Right. So this is very important feature, in terms of taking shelter of the Lord. And when we do that, so then we can also become this intelligent person. So nonetheless, being completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he remained in that condition and did not protest being brought before the deity for slaughter. So this is the key aspect. So now whenever these kind of things are mentioned, so that in the last shloka, in the last time we were discussing on Sunday, in the 11th shloka, so not to imitate such a great personality as Bharat Maharaj. So but then to practically be engaged. Prabhupada uses some nice words actually. So, however, one should not imitate this consciousness. One should actually be situated on the spiritual platform of neutrality. So here we can see that the practical aspect here it's not that not protest when some danger comes. That is not the practical aspect that need to be emulated. The practical aspect that needs to be emulated is being completely surrendered unto the personality of Godhead. So how do we actually become completely surrendered unto the personality of Godhead? So that can be broken down. So that can be made into a sadhana. So that is anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjitam, and then rakshayashiti vishwasho no goptatvaranam tata. So these kind of things. So this is something that we can put to practice, and we can actually have it as a goal to attain, and then we can try to move towards that direction. And one practical thing which Srila Prabhupada often mentions for taking shelter of the Lord or being engaged in the devotional service is Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam. So ensuring that our senses are nicely engaged, our mind and intelligence are nicely engaged in the service of the Lord, and then also ensuring that Shravanam Kirtanam actually happens. Reading and hearing and speaking about the Lord actually happens. So when these things happen, so this is a practical aspect or practical way of taking shelter of the Lord. So when we do this aspect of taking shelter of the Lord, so then we can expect that we are not touched by Maya, and we can expect that we are advancing in Krishna consciousness in the form of we'll be able to hear the names of the Lord clearly, and we'll be able to develop taste for chanting and develop taste for studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So these things, we can actually see that it actually increases. So now we see that here, Bharat Maharaj is two different aspects that are happening. Being completely surrendered, he did not protest when he was brought before the deity for slaughter. And as we have learned from the previous verses, he was very strong and could have easily avoided being bound with ropes, but he did not do anything. Right. So now this is this one of taking shelter of the Lord, and so completely being in the materialistic mad situation. So that means not protesting. And not understanding the danger. Just like a goat, is about to be slaughtered, and he's happy with eating some grass. So if he wants, he can run away, but he will happily eat the grass. Right. So that is foolish way of not protesting. And then intermediate way is that one understands that Krishna has blessed me with some capacities, and I have to utilize those capacities. When there is a danger, no, I have to protest. No, I have to protect myself. So that is there. And this is another level, no, like where, no, he is thinking that, no, if Krishna is protecting me in all the ways, and my main business is to remember the Lord, no, my main business is to remember the Lord. Why should I deviate from that business? No, if Krishna is protecting me, so let him protect. And no, in whatever case, no, ultimately I have to remember the Lord, and I have to be fully absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. And so why should I deviate, no, from that, no, for any cost? So such a person is allowed to, no, completely depend on the Lord. So if a person is, no, anyway like distracted, so then so then he should not think that, no, Lord will protect me. So he should do practically like, no, what needs to be done he should do, no, because he is not in the state of completely remembering the Lord, right? So anyway he is distracted, so in that distracted portion he should, no, ensure that, he is taking care of his safety and things like that. And if it goes beyond his capacity, so then he should take complete shelter of the Lord, right? So but here, no, Bharat Maharaj or Jada Bharat, like he is already constantly remembering the Lord. No, he's attained, no, the siddhi of all the sadhanas. So now he doesn't have anything to do like materially, like, no, he doesn't have any duty to perform. So even towards his body or towards anyone else. So like because, no, he has attained the siddhi of all the, no, sadhanas, no, that is constant remembrance of the Lord. So now he did not want to, no, react, or he did not want to protest, or he did not want to retaliate. So in any way, no, he was completely okay, like, no, whatever the Lord wants, no, let it happen. So he simply depended on the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his protection. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes surrender unto the Supreme Lord in this way: Maribe Rakibe Yoichat Tohar Nitya Dasa Prati Tva Adhikar. So like this is a very exalted state of existence. So my Lord, I am now surrendered unto you. I am your eternal servant, and if you like, you can kill me, or if you like, you can protect me. In any case, I am fully surrendered unto you. So this one, like if we can utter this final word that in any case I am fully surrendered unto you, so then we can like what is that? The other things is okay. Marabi Rakabi. No, otherwise, so then we will make this dialogue and Krishna will beat, and then he'll say, hey, no, I didn't literally mean to. You should not. So why are you beating? So then no, you sang this wonderful bhajan Marabi Rakabi. That's why I'm beating you. And then devotee will say like no, this is not like so we should see that the practical aspect is in this bhajan, so that I'm not fully surrendered. When will I come to this position of being fully surrendered unto you? And what is the practical aspect of being fully surrendered? So at least the initial definition is that all the senses completely engaged in the service of the Lord, and then the mind and intelligence is also nicely engaged in the service of the Lord. So if we can start with this, so then it can actually go to higher and higher levels of surrender. So this is the basic level of surrender. And also another practical aspect of surrender which Srila Prabhupada often mentions is Shravanam and Kirtanam, like doing the Shravanam Kirtanam nicely. So when we do this aspect of surrender, and when that engulfs all practically all time and space of our existence, so then we can actually utter that I am fully surrendered unto you. Till then, we cannot make this dialogue, So and so if by mistake Lord actually reciprocates, how he reciprocates with fully surrendered people, we will not be able to tolerate. हम भाग जाएंगे. So like the see, now the Lord is fully in control, and then he is allowing his fully surrendered person to be captured and taken. And he's completely okay. He's just like a small baby in hands of the Lord, and he's completely happy, in all this situation. So we will not be in this kind of situation. So if somebody threatens, also we'll become we'll become afraid. So now, what to speak of somebody binding us and taking us, So the whole world will get to know that we are bound and we are taken. So we'll make such a huge hue and cry. So it will become big news in the newspaper. Okay. So with this, I pause today's discussion. Any questions or comments you can take. Hare Krishna. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So there are rules and regulations governing these things are also there. So when they do that, they get something in return. They get some power and things like that.
Narabali is mentioned also.
Huh?
Narabali is there.
So at
Prabhupada speaks
least,
about that.
huh?
Prabhupada speaks about Pashubali.
So here Prabhupada only speaking about that, no? So they would,
Shastrically, this is maybe concocted and is possible.
which one? No. Prabhupada is speaking, no? So animalistic men are still sacrificed before goddess Kali. However, such sacrifice is only performed by Shudras and dacoits. Their business is to plunder the wealthy, and to become successful, they offer an animalistic man before goddess Kali. Right? So this is some kind of this ones are there. So even some black art, which involves killing of small babies and offering their blood in the this one and things like that. So through that they gain power, and these witches, they get powers through that. Even Putana's case is also like that only. So they gain power by doing that. At least this some information is there over here. Even Pashubali also I have heard from Prabhupada only. I have not seen in other places like what is the this one. So but it is in practice.
This animal sacrifice Prabhupada speaks details also. That previously people, Brahmanas, were qualified to create a body, transfer.
That is like this one, Vedic Yajnas. No, this Tamsic, this one. No, what we are talking about is Tamsic. So in the Vedic Yajnas, like what is that? In the what is that? Passion and goodness. No, that is not there. I think so. It is only in the this lower stages. It is there.
Related to the man who's dull, like almost as an animal, that person will sacrifice.
Yeah, so that is there, but even that, Prabhu is asking if there is any Shastric reference for that. So this Tamsic, this one's. Yes.
Why God should be giving such power for such sinful acts?
Because we demand power, we need power. So and like there are different ways, of gaining power is there. So the way of gaining power in Sattva-guna, the way of gaining power in Rajoguna, and way of gaining power in Tamoguna. So that's the whole purpose we are there in this material world. Right. So this one is like we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. So and no, we have to be like we surrender to the powerful. No, if we don't want to surrender to the powerful, the next option that we want is we want the power. We want to become powerful. So and we want to become powerful, then these different varieties of things are given. In that. So, like, it is not that the world will be like very nice. Only good people will have power. And then the world become very nice actually. So then we will not go back to Godhead. So here power, like everybody has come for the competition of power, and everybody has equal rights. No, anybody can get power. And in Bhagavad Gita also it's mentioned, and in Bhagavatam also it's mentioned. So that sometimes the powerful people amongst mode of goodness, they will gain power. And sometimes the powerful people among mode of passion, they will gain power. And sometimes the powerful people among mode of ignorance, they will gain power. Like that. So this is, it is everybody, fair playground. Everybody will get equal opportunity. So that is why it's a nonsense place. We should get out of this place. We should also not try to gain some power here. Because somebody else will gain power and you will overthrow us. What is the point of gaining power here? Better get out of this place. Like that. Hare Krishna.
Only here, when pure devotees are tested, being a sadhakas, one is to protect our sadhana in a proper mode, not to get deviated by seeing the pure devotees tested or put into the difficulty. And another one is answering the public. He is such a pure devotee, why is suffering, why is undergoing things. These both the things, keeping our own sadhana and explain to the public that he is a pure devotee.
So this is, we can see the explanation to the public, it is quite difficult, because until unless they gain some sukruti, no, it is not possible for them to understand the transcendental subject. So, but logically we can give some answers. Like even common people, they are kind of okay with Jatayu being killed, or things like that. So they consider him to be a devotee, and the ultimate destination, what they actually get, and things like that. So, but people who have very low level of sukruti, so they will only like talk about purely about bodily benefit what they got. So bodily benefit, what did bodily benefit he got. So he did nice devotional service, he gave up his kingdom and things like that. So and then he had to become a deer, and then in next life he had to become jada, and then in that also he was supposed to be killed, and things like that. So it is quite difficult for very very grossly manda people for them to understand these subjects. So it requires some level of piety to understand this thing. So like if we see that if they are not able to understand too much, so we just give them little prasadam and send them. No, that's all. So like maybe in sometime in the future they'll be able to understand. And then that is our this one. So if people are not able to understand, we don't waste much time. So sometimes we waste also, like but then it is of no use. So better give them prasadam and send them. So like and then our own sadhana. So we need to understand, like one basic mistake that the devotees do is that devotee means all devotee, same devotee. So that is a mistake actually. So devotee means like so many different classes of devotees are there. So like we should appear for only for that exam which we are supposed to appear. So we are there in Shraddhavan, so we should not attempt Prabhupada Ashraya. Then we will fail. Prabhupada Ashraya exam is good, but then we will fail. So like we should do whatever we are capable of. Only that exam we should take. And the gradations of devotion that is there, or gradation of advancement that is there, and like what level of test I'm supposed to take. So that understanding itself is good level of maturity in Krishna consciousness. So beginning, when somebody comes inside, so like and then they start chanting one round, and people start calling them devotee. And whenever they read Bhagavad Gita, like whatever is told about devotee, it is told for me only. So and whatever is told for non-devotees, this is for rest of the people. And why it is for rest of the people? Because I'm chanting one round. I'm devotee. So but later, after chanting 16 rounds, we start understanding I'm not devotee. When it is told about devotee, they're not told about like great personalities. I'm not a devotee. I want to become devotee. So it takes 16 rounds to understand that I'm not a devotee. So so then after that they come to reality. Like okay, I have to become devotee. Like that. So.
Of course, in addition to his question, of course, when we see this, killing of some animal into the sacrifices and three of the human into sacrifices, we have seen these things are in the Shastras. But when we say that a sin is called as something which is against the Shastras, so don't these people who are doing sacrifices?
Yeah, so these people will get sin also. These people will get sin also. It is like, this is a trade-off, that they are getting some power to enjoy in this life. So, but then the result of that is they will have to go get very, very deep suffering. So that is there. So because it is like completely for the sake of accumulating power, and accumulating power and wealth and things like that. So it is like, you can exercise this, but then, you will get severe punishment for that. But they are so dull-headed, so they will not be able to understand the repercussions. Like that.
They cannot climb the ladder.
No. This is like they'll become manda in terms of spiritual understanding. It's like completely in the pursuit of accumulating something on the material platform. No material power, material wealth, no material things. So spiritually they'll become completely manda. That vina pashubna is there, no? Like, and then in Ishopanishad also it is there. What is Atmaha, right? So like that. So they are killers of animal, or they are killers of the self. They cannot understand spiritual subject. They are completely manda. in the spiritual subject.
Then why this no restrictions has given monthly once or 2 months once, only festival time?
No, that is for eating purpose. That is for eating purpose who are completely attached to this one. What is that? Animal eating. So, like, no, for eating purpose, no, that kind of restrictions that are given. So, this one is like, okay, they are following some rules and regulations. No, that much is this one. But then it is very ghastly. No, they will not be able to understand spiritual subjects. To come to the platform of understanding difference between body and soul, so it is a great thing. No, it's a very, very great thing. So, like, these people are quite difficult for them to come. They are engaged very ghastly.
So then the people who doesn't follow also same result, and they are little bit whatever the rules following, they also get the same.
Almost very little purification. Very, very little purification. Almost.
So people who are following Shastras and doing these sinful things will not get little bit at least.
Yeah, it is there. Like from this one of, we can see that the acharyas, when they comment upon the non-Vedic religions, so they speak in this way only. Like at least they are following some scripture, and they can get somewhere. They can get little purification, but then it takes very, very long time, very long time. So it's not that easy. So any points that like you can share?
Harikshetra Prabhuji, thank you very much for the nice class. Even yesterday, even I highlighted this point. Previous shloka talks about, for a son, he was the dacoit was sacrificing the man animal. So even such people, for a son, he wanted to beget a son. So even such people who are dacoits and in the Shudra category or below that, even in the Vedic times, even they understood that if I have to get something, I have to do something for the higher beings. So this is one. Another thing is who is an intelligent person. So intelligent person is the one who takes shelter of the Lord. So this is something which we were not able to prove yesterday to that person. So intelligent person is the one who takes shelter of the Lord, because finally taking shelter of the Lord only the person can break the cycle of birth and death and go back to the eternal service of the Lord. So otherwise becoming intelligent in this world, he's just bound, nothing else. Hare Krishna.
This point, Prabhuji, you said we need to use our intelligence when we are not fully surrendered, because Krishna has given that. So if some devotee is already fully surrendered, why to deviate from it? So this, I like it. So when Prabhupada was distributing his Back to Godhead magazines, one bull comes and pokes him, but he didn't leave that. And another time he got sunstroke. Still he didn't leave. He continued his distributing. And he didn't even try to protect our... You don't know who has taken him to hospital also. So like pure devotee, when he is already in that level, he may not use... he may not get deviated. I could connect that. This point I liked it, bro. So till the time we go there, so we should use our intelligence to protect sometime.
Your devotee is being very callous about health and things like that. So then that means it is not very good. So like they should properly take care of Krishna's properties and Krishna's gifts, what is there. So this can bring about callous nature. So that is possible only for a person who is completely absorbed. So then he is exempted.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the nice class. So as attending the control of the senses by one's own self is very limited, but the ultimate control of the senses can be done only by taking the shelter of the Lord. And when something happens like this, by reciprocation from the Lord, so immediately gratitude should be offered to the Lord, thanks should be offered. So that gratitude is another. So simultaneously, the humility also develops. So it's a practical thing. So anytime, especially while chanting, so if we can do this, this will be really helpful to progress in Krishna consciousness. And one more, you told that a practical way of taking shelter of the Lord, like engaging all the senses in the service and simultaneously practice now Veda Bhakti. So this will help to progress in the path of Bhakti. Hare Krishna.
Harikshetra Prabhuji, thank you for the class. Here you talk about like we should take shelter of Lord through Shavanam Kirtanam, then we'll save by Maya. So that's it. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Harikshetra Prabhuji, very thank you for the class. So I really like the point that you said, the power of saying no to Maya is coming from Krishna. This fact must be acknowledged with gratitude. Thank you.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, हमने बताया कि वी शुड ऑलवेज मेडिटेट मीन्स मेंटेन आवर ह्यूमिलिटी एंड गिविंग ग्रेटिट्यूड टू लॉर्ड. And our practical accept of surrender means fully engage all our senses in service of Lord and mind intelligent thinking about always Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here you pointed out how Jad Bharat was completely surrendered to the Lord and he didn't care about what was happening. He was being tied by the ropes and all. And even Bhakti Vinod Thakur praised like that, Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tomar, that completely surrendered to the Lord. And we have to cultivate that kind of surrender by quality Shravanam and Kirtanam. By, if we do these things, then with time we'll be able to cultivate that surrender. Hare Krishna.
Real intelligence is to take shelter of Krishna. That's the real important point here.
So you mentioned about surrender. So first primary criteria of surrender is engaging senses in the service of the Lord, and you also mentioned Mahatmas are those who take shelter of divine energy.
If we surrender to the Supreme Lord, then Maya will not able to will not touch us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You mentioned intelligent man doesn't mean he is materially intelligent. It is mean he is Krishna conscious, and then only he can become intelligent. This is the main point.
Hare Krishna. So thank you for telling practically about this intelligence. So like you mentioned, like from Bhagavad Gita, and like we can understand Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita and Vasudeva Sarvamati Samat. And from NOI you mentioned that like one who is able to control all the Vegas and also Matravat Paradharija. So like practical definition of intelligence we should understand from the scriptures like this. And also like at our level the surrender to the Lord means engaging our senses in the service Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam, and also engaging our mind and intelligence fully as much as possible, and then Shravanam Kirtanam. So if we try these aspects at our level, it will be like it is appropriate at our sadhaka level. Hare Krishna.
A nice sadhana for intelligence is good chanting. So, Bhagavatam intelligence is there, but whenever we talk about intelligence in Bhagavatam, we try to understand understanding or remembering all the pastimes and those flow of stories and things like that and all. So, but the real sadhana of intelligence is to humbly hear from the Bhagavatam. So that is the real sadhana of intelligence. And the sign of intelligence is, so we will develop taste for, like, for living God.
Hare Krishna. So here in this material world, we should not hanker for power. We should do bhakti nicely and get out of this material world.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So we have to do our devotional service by engaging our all the senses in the service of the Lord, by which we can make some advancement and we will get a taste in hearing the Lord's name clearly. So that is the advancement and that is the intelligence.
Like nobody would have ever thought, the sadhana for intelligence is to nicely groom the temple Lord. Like senses are engaged in the service of the Lord and senses are nicely engaged. So then, so one will develop, one will somehow or other please the Lord. And if he pleases the Lord, so then the Lord will give, the proper intelligence, how everything is connected to the Supreme Lord. Right? So, nobody would have ever thought that sadhana for intelligence is to humbly take prasadam, not taking prasadam as master, as a servant. So, these are all sadhana for being intelligent. This intelligence definition what is given. So, nicely taking darshan of the Lord. Coming in contact with the holy name. Coming in contact with the Bhagavatam. So these are all the sadhanas of intelligence. So.
So if we see someone, he is chanting very nicely with full focus and all, but other symptoms we don't see that he's not getting taste for services and other apps.
That means you fake it. That means fake.
If it is vice versa.
Huh? So that means his nature is supporting him, material nature is supporting him to do that service. So, but he's still not awakened to this one. So, intelligence means difference between body and soul. And for the right reasons, we have to be attached. There are so many workaholics outside. So, he become a devotee, he'll be workaholic. And everybody will say, Prabhu, you are doing very nice service. So, but the real service is done when we are, able to, find that, our relationship with the Lord is getting, blossomed nicely. So, in the form of attachment to the holy name and Bhagavatam. So then, that real service, the result of service is actually coming. So that means he has done service with humility, and he is so grateful that he has got this opportunity to render service, and he is very much eager to please the Lord. And with that, if the Lord is pleased, so then the Lord will award, the higher levels of consciousness. And when higher levels of consciousness comes, then automatically he will develop some taste for holy name and Bhagavatam. So that will happen. So like that. So that's why it should be consistent. Then you should not think that now I'm able to nicely render service throughout the day. That means I'm elevated. No, we should have some practical, this one's key, practical vision that we are seeing a sense object, and then we are seeing that how it can be utilized in service of the Lord. We are not getting provoked by the sense object. So then there is sign of knowledge. We are getting somewhere close to knowledge. At least the basic sense objects, the prasadam and things like that. So the most difficult sense object to handle is the opposite sex. So but at least the basic sense objects, any this one stuff that we have with us. So if somebody else needs it, we are not so possessive about it. We are ready to give it to other devotee for his service. So that means some level of detachment is coming. So that's sign of knowledge. That is there. So he's becoming intelligent in this one, like that. ठीक है. अनंतराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.